Too much to say, no more.
Bad man. He ain't there. Now all of you, get yourselves warm. Stay strong. Stay with me.
Everything's eyes are sparkling. We're journeying. See, he's thinking clear. I think we all feel what the man is doing in spite of black water and that all.
Yes. You ran away. Oh, I didn't know such thing. Don't be a fool.
You do what you snake.
Be quiet.
I do. Save who you can and let the
You
rest
borrowed
rot.
money from my business
Look
partner,
after
Herr Strauss. You owe him. You took the money. He wants it back. What's not to understand?
Lucy. You just can't
Where's
quite
our money?
admit it
I
to
don't have it.
yourself.
I gave you all I had.
Before this video begins, this is part of a video essay that I have which is 3 hours and 15 minutes long, so if you want to go check out the full thing and watch it in your own time, then make sure to go check that out. It'll be in the link down below, but also you can find it as one of the first videos on my channel. And as well as that, there will be more of these ones coming up. They're just going to be the cut up segments that are already in that video, just kind of re-uploaded for more content, but also so that people have more digestible videos. So yeah, with that all being said, I won't badger you anymore. Have fun watching the video.
That's quite a scratch you got there.
John?
Keep quiet.
Never thought I'd say this, but good to see you, Arthur Morgan.
Is that it with you? Tahiti or killing? Come on, John. Please, try.
What? You don't look so good.
We gotta live somewhere
Let's see. Breezy fine. Strawberry. Strawberry. Could have done something. I feel like you should take that.
Hard-working and a whole lot more than anger kills. So make yourself good.
You can do it. You can give something.
It's always good. I'm always
See no way out of this.
Can't go back the way we came.
What about loyalty?
Try this way.
You got
Do it.
Stop trying to act like some hero.
John Marston, the main protagonist of the original game that this game acts as an origin story for, who realistically is actually the main character of this game, but because the story is being told through Arthur's eyes and it mainly centers around Dutch, it might not be John. This serves as an intro to why John is the way he is by the time of the first game, but this story is still Arthur and Dutch's story at heart. Who truly is the main character of this game? Is it Arthur, or is it Dutch, or maybe it is John? Now, I'm being facetious with that statement as Arthur is blatantly the main character, but John has a massive role that he plays as well. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I haven't really played the first game really at all, but because of YouTube and many of my friends, I was very aware of the ending of the first game and I knew who he was. Because of that, I made sure to keep an extra eye on him throughout my playthrough. In the first 2 chapters, he's nothing more than just fan service, but as the story goes on, he becomes more and more of a main character of this story, and a driving force for Arthur's wants and desires by the end of chapter 6. Now, in the script for this video, I ended up finding a gamerant article that was trying to claim that John and Micha were pretty much one in the same sort of person, because of them basically going against their former gang members. But are they really? In the first game, John acts as an informant for the Pinkertons, and he ends up doing pretty much what Micha did as well. But the massive area where they differ is their motivation for doing so. Now, in the article, they try to say that because Micha is set up to be the unlikable villain, he was always going to be viewed as different than how, let's say, John was viewed. But if there was some more character development for him, maybe we might have viewed things differently. However, I'd probably disagree with that statement, and here's why. During the whole game, Micha is always talking about being a survivor above all else. He only joins the gang as it's the best method of him surviving, and all the actions that he takes in this game are either fully because he wanted to do so, such as something like Strawberry and the O'Driscolls meetup, or it's because he knows by doing something for someone like Dutch, who is in a position of power, he can survive another day. Which means all of his motivations throughout the whole game was fundamentally a selfish cause. However, John was doing it because of one main reason, and that's because he was being blackmailed. And also another massive change is that the gang was fully disbanded at this point and not functioning in any way by the time of the first game, so there isn't really too much for comparison. The article tries to say that John is the reason why the Vanderlyn gang doesn't exist anymore because obviously he kills them all, or at least he sets most of them up to be killed. But I would argue that Chapter 6 is the gang no longer existing anymore. I would say that before even the ending of Chapter 6, the gang is disbanded. They don't function anymore. So John's actions in the first game are towards people who basically were the root cause of most of his issues that his family faced, and would be a lot more understandable. In comparison, Micha is just someone who sneaked into a gang, manipulated Dutch, and so that he could live another day. Now, what I do love about John as a character in this game is that he's not shoved down your throat. I think the game in general does so. They aren't expecting everyone who's played this game to have played the first Red Dead. Now, this game in the opening 3 chapters treats everyone besides Arthur, Hosea, and Dutch as people who are basically along for the ride, versus the end of the game, which shows us a Micha and Dutch side of the group against Arthur's side of the group, aka Zadie and John. And also, because he's the main character of the epilogue, you end up getting more of a story being told of John's to give him more of a backstory into people who haven't played the first game, or give him more of a backstory for people who have played the first game. Now, besides this though, I feel like this game also shows John's maturity kind of growing, because obviously at the beginning he's a lot more just not willing to take on the responsibility of being a father, as he didn't view Jack as his own kid anyway. But also the relationship between him and Arthur, going from basically butting heads right at the beginning and Arthur hating John for quite a while, to them then having full respect for one another and even Arthur willing to die for him. John serves as a reason for Arthur to keep going once he's diagnosed with tuberculosis, which is why I really do love Arthur as a character. He deep down wasn't as dense as all of that.